Gustavo. First of all, I'd like to thank Gustavo and all the organizers for this series of workshops and for this particular one. I'm really sorry for not being able to be there in person, but I mean, December is a really busy month. But nevertheless, we have, I think, in the audience, three researchers from LN CNPEM, Alison, Everton, and Nick, that are somehow involved in quantum devices using different platforms. Perhaps you can, during the coffee break, talk to them, understand what they are planning to do or what they're doing. I think, for instance, Alison is doing devices on 2D materials. Everton is in charge of devices in silicon qubits, and Nick is doing integrated photonics devices. So they are there, I think, for the day, and it would be really nice to interact with them. So Gustavo asked me to give a presentation on a new project that we have for a new nanofabrication facility at CNPEM that we call BR-Fab. Before I start, I really enjoyed Gustavo's presentation, and I really agree that we have many smaller clean rooms in Brazil, and besides what we are proposing here, that we need a larger clean room, more robust, in which we have all the processes there, and a place where people can really fabricate a device in the same place. But as Gustavo mentioned, nowadays it's very common that we need to run from one clean room to the other to fabricate one device. So it's really interesting and important that we have this in one place. But nevertheless, I think it's also equally important to build this network of clean rooms that could operate in a coordinated way and have some redundancy and some complementarity. I think that's really important. And I think, Gustavo, that we should start discussing that between us and also with the Ministry of Science and Technology, because they have, I think, the mandate to do that, and they have experience to do that. For instance, they did similar things with CISNAN, with CISPhoton. So let's actually do that next year, hopefully. Okay, so this is also, although this center is a multi-purpose facility, since this meeting is on qubits, on quantum technologies, I'd like to give some motivation from this area. As you can see, this is a slide I borrowed from André Saraiva in Australia. As you can see, there are many different, if you're talking about quantum computation alone, there are many different platforms. It's really an open race in which we don't know yet which is going to be the winning, or if going to be more than one, perhaps, winning platform for quantum computation. But what they all have in common is that they all require nanofabrication. And so nanofabrication is a really fundamental enabling technology for quantum devices and quantum technologies, as Gustavo mentioned. So all these technologies, superconducting quantum dots or semiconducting ions and photonics and some more bizarre things like topological protected systems, they all require nanofabrication. So this is really a gap that we have here in Brazil, and we need to fill this gap. So the reason all of them require nanofabrication is that in the end, we will need qubits by the millions. We will have to pursue the same path, the same road that microelectronics did in miniaturizing the qubits. Otherwise, we're never going to have a practical quantum computing. So I give you this example because this is really one particular type of qubit that CNPEM is going to invest a lot of effort, which are semiconductor qubits based on silicon quantum dots. This is an example by Intel. They are already constructing those qubits using industrial process, let's say. And this is really promising because this is where microelectronics meets quantum technology. So this is something like that we need to have in the future. And CNPEN is investing in this particular technology as well as in others, as I mentioned before. So we need, brings me to the point of describing to you what is the BRFab facility. It's a micro and nanofabrication multi-user and multi-purpose center. This is based on a clean room. I'll give you, as an example, the Cornell CNF clean room that Gustavo knows very well. We have visited that already last year. In this clean room, clean area, we have as you can see, many different processes that compose the fabrication of a device. You have lithography, deposition. You also may have ion implantation, but you also have etching and furnaces, and some area also for assembly and testing and metrology. So, as Gustavo mentioned, these are very expensive material. They're expensive to buy, they're expensive to maintain, and you need personnel, you need people also to keep it running, right? So the strategy, and this is a strategy that is being undertaken by many different places in the world, is actually to obviously concentrate this equipment in a single clean room and open the access of this clean room to outside users. And so this is a multi-user facility, as the one in CCS that Gustavo mentioned, as the one we have at LNano as well. But I'm talking about a different level of first of all, clean room area and different level of availability of different variety of equipment. So besides being a multi-user facility, it's also multi-purpose. It serves several strategic areas such as microelectronics, photonics, quantum computing, health, etc. So, okay. So what we're proposing to build with the BRFab is actually proposing to be a way to strengthen the device ecosystem in Brazil and to interact with universities, with institutes of science and technology, startups, companies, and SAITech is also a singular company, so it's mentioned there explicitly. But BRFab, first of all, is not going to be a foundry in the sense it's not going to produce high volume. It's an R&D facility, but also we will have the capability of prototyping devices and scaling up. Okay, so this is how we position ourselves in this diagram that goes from R&D to high volume production. Okay, so just justification, I already mentioned some of the justification. It's important to mention that today there's no center of this nature in Brazil that brings together all this infrastructure. You have many centers in Brazil. CCS is a very important and open facility and very good center. LNANA too. We have smaller clean rooms, as Gustavo mentioned, but we're really proposing here that to have that type of clean room in a different level. So we also propose that CNPEM is an interesting place to host this center because of some of its features. It's a private organization. It has a more efficient, let's say, way of managing things like equipment maintenance and hiring people and etc. So this is a picture of CNPEM. Maybe you all know that. I'm not going to spend time on that, but I just want to go back to this slide just to say that this is a proposal that we are building together with the scientific and industrial community on semiconductors and devices from Brazil. For instance, Gustavo is a part of the advisory committee. I think Newton is also there, perhaps. He's also a member of the advisory committee. So it's been really interesting, and I'm learning a lot by having these conversations and getting advice from all these people that have a lot of experience in this field. So the project, this is the timeline of the project so far. We started back in 2003. We hired a scientific consultant, Roberto Panepucci, which you all also may know. He's from CTI, now he's at UT Austin. We did workshops with companies to see, really map the different needs of companies in this area. We started the conceptual design with an architecture company. We did more than now 15 visits to similar centers abroad, both in the US and Europe. We finished the conceptual design September last year. We began a series of thematic workshops with the advisory committee. I will briefly mention that as well. In October last year, we started the hiring of the international consultancy for the infrastructure itself. I will mention something about that as well. We also started the selection process for new researchers of these centers. So for instance, Everton and Nick, they were the two first researchers hired specifically using this justification of working with the BR-Fab. And we completed the first stage of the international consulting activity recently, last month. So the thematic workshops have been really nice. We did many of them, 7 so far. The first one was on quantum computing. We have different types of thematic workshops, as you can see. So this was really important. You see the people here that were speakers at those workshops, it's a very interesting sample of people working in nanofabrication throughout Brazil in different areas. So this is really a way to, again, to understand the needs of both the academic community and the industrial community in this area. These are some images from the conceptual design project. We're planning to have a 3-story building with a sub-fab, then a clean room floor, and then in the upper floor, a room for administrative offices, and also some for labs that do not require a clean area. As I mentioned, we hired an international consultant, AMTS. They have a lot of experience in building and working on the projects of semiconductor clean rooms around the world. They were involved, for example, with SAITEC's development, and they will be working with us in different stages of the project, all the way through the executive project. They finished already an analysis of the conceptual project, and they also made the first distribution of equipment in the clean room. So that the main features of the building will be, we're planning to have a 2,000 square meter clean room with classes 100 and 1,000. We will have a dedicated area for CMOS. This is also a need for a certain community of academic users and industry users in Brazil. In this separated area, we are planning to have processes that are compatible with the 90 nanometer CMOS technology. And we have other types of equipment. I will not get into details, but the plan is to work with 8-inch wafers. We'll have deep UV lithography, iron implantation, and all the usual stuff. I mean, the etching, deposition, furnaces, etc. And I think that is close to my 15 minutes. So again, I would like to thank Gustavo for the organizing. I will be here through the day, and I'll be very eager to participate in all the discussions that we have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rodrigo. I guess we can move on for the